I'm Ruby Rose Fox, and I want to talk about my upcoming record, which started with a massive failure. I was performing on a US solo tour, and a guy came up to me and said, "When I hear your voice, I get a feeling all over my body, like chills." Later, he contacted me again and just kind of intimated that he didn't feel that way when he listened to the record. I just got this pit in my stomach, and I felt like I have to start over. We had already recorded a couple tracks, but I knew whatever approach it was, there was something more to explore. And that something was that I wanted this record to feel like you were closer to me. I wanted the audience to feel the same intimacy they feel watching a live show. And that's when the journey began of questioning sound itself. What creates sensation in the body when you listen to music? It was a journey to find intimacy. So that's Salt, which is the name of the record. I'm calling it Salt because I kept having this vision. There's a story of Lot's wife. She's told not to turn around and look at the city that's burning because she'll turn into a pillar of salt. And it's sort of a parable for our lives to not look back. To me, Domestic is the burning city, and this record is me walking out of it. The content of Domestic was kind of me in the middle of something, and this is more reflective. This is a record that I had to make, and in the process, it was a bit inside out. The last record, there was a lot of instrumentation made, and I sang last. And in this case, all of the music was done without a click track and started with me on keyboard. One of the challenges that I was up against was, how do I create intimacy? And I had known about this thing called ASMR. If you hear certain sounds, you may get like a tingle, or they describe it as a tingle on the head, but it can manifest in many different ways. But many of the ASMR YouTube people have this microphone, and if you can see, there's little ears on each one, which kind of looks like a weird space sex music toy. But it's not a sex toy, it's a microphone. A lot of the vocals were done on this particular microphone, because if you get up really close to the microphone and you're wearing headphones, it's gonna sound like someone's literally singing in your ear. So there's a level of intimacy that's almost jarring at first. And in fact, on the record, you're gonna hear like sometimes little clicks or little sounds that are just there because of my body. At every level of my journey as a musical artist, I've found more and more agency in my career. But when it came to the studio, my experience with it was not only gendered in that there was like a lot of men involved and I didn't know anything, and I kind of had this attitude of like, you do it, like please just do it for me, just like make it good for me, because I didn't know so much about recording. I think for this record I really owned what I didn't know, and also what I did know and what I wanted, and really spoke up for myself and collaborated with a team to create a record, whereas I think before, when I was younger, I didn't participate in that way. I really truly felt like as a team, Dave, Pat, and I were seamlessly making this record together. It didn't feel hierarchical. It just felt like this amazing team. I ended up playing almost all the instruments, keyboard and mellotron and saxophone, and sang and did all the backup parts. Dave played drums, and we had an amazing violin player come in too, Josh Knowles, who's amazing. The next step is going to be getting this record heard by the world, and that's where you guys come into play. Thanks to the Boston Foundation, we were able to fund most of this record, and thanks to our backers, Nina Piquel and David Halbrooks, who sponsored tracks. So the next step is going to be, asking our fans to pre-order the record so that we can set up a really healthy promotional campaign to actually get the thing heard. And that's a really exciting idea. So there's 4 ways that you can help financially with this record. There's pre-ordering, which is just ordering the record, and I will send it to you as soon as it's done. You can become a member, which is a subscribership just like NPR. You pay anywhere between $5 and $50 a month, and it helps me create new content, and you get a password and access to this little community of Ruby Rose Fox subscribers, and they all get free music. So if you are a member, you do not have to pre-order on this because I will be shipping you a record. You can also become an executive producer. It's a lot more expensive and it's not for everybody, but it's definitely a thing. And then finally, I started a program called Gifted, which gives voice lessons to teens in Boston who can't afford them. So I would just want to thank all of our fans and our members for supporting us for the last couple years. We are so grateful. We never would be in this position without you. Also want to thank the Boston Foundation for their contribution to the record, because we wouldn't be here on the brink of release without them. If you want to hear this record live, we are going to be at the Lizard Lounge 2 nights in a row, the 15th and 16th, for our big holiday fundraiser show. It's going to be super fun. There's great acts opening for us. We hope to see you there. Thanks again to all of our members and fans, and to the Boston Foundation for getting us to this point, and I hope you enjoy the record.